first got signed. So it's so funny that we're sitting here now, how many years later, talking about this. And I feel like a completely different person from when I first got signed. I was like, oh, this is amazing. The world's great. Everyone I can trust. I love everybody. Everyone. And it's not. I know. But it's a crazy life. And lots of the panelists and lots of the people that you heard earlier, all of them said, you know, make sure you want this, and I can't enforce it enough. I mean, with what Shontelle just said, there's no more pieces to break. I hit my rock bottom, I'll be very honest with you, last year, and I've been in this for 4 years. That's not half as long as lots of people, but I've been through so much. And I got built up really quickly. When I first got signed, I was promised the earth, moon, and stars. They were taking me out to fancy dinners. Your budget's this, and I'm like, oh my God. And I get shown this, taken onto a Justin Bieber. It was amazing. But then that height that they put me on, that level, which was, there was no foundation under it. I was on cloud 9. I fell from that high so hard. And I remember I had one writing session which really changed my mind, because when you first enter into this, everyone's going to tell you how wonderful it is. And especially people in the industry, they're going to be like, you know what, it's so great, I'm going to get you this, I'm going to do this for you, I know this person, I know this celebrity, I'm going to put you on tour with this person. And you're like, oh my God, I've made it already, you know, before I even walked out my door. And usually when it sounds too good to be true, it is. It really is. I was told you're going to be this, you're going to be that. I got to, like I said, I got shown the golden gates. And I was never allowed to write my own songs when I first got signed. I was never really considered myself a writer. I was told I was not a writer without even hearing anything that I'd written. I don't know what I'm doing. I was told, you don't know anything about this industry. You just started, so listen to me. I've been in this industry for 20 years. Yeah, that line. I've been in this industry for 20 years. You don't know what you're doing, so listen to me. You know what? You look too covered up. Why don't you wear a bikini on stage? Why don't you, wear some high heels, put on some lipstick, and put on a mini skirt. Go dance. That's what you have to do. Because if you want to get seen, that's the only way you're going to get seen. I was told that. Go sing Hit My Ass in the line. Go sing that, because that's what you have to do. That's controversy. Everybody needs controversy. That's the only way you make it in this industry. Yeah. I remember with my mom, I was crying my eyes out on Sunset Boulevard in LA in front of a cafe, mascara down to my knees, because I was told to sing this terribly provocative song at 17 years old, and I'm like, I wouldn't dare tell any of my friends about this song. I can't sing this, but I was told if you don't do it, you're gonna be dropped. Do it, or go be a waitress for the rest of your life. And I'm like, Mom, what do I do? Like, you would never let me sing this, but I want this so badly. And you have to be so strong, and there are going to be times in your career when you have to make that decision, when people are saying, if you don't do this, you're going to be dropped, or you're not going to succeed. You have to be like, no, what's right for me? And what is the right thing for me to do? I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to sing it. And if I get dropped, it was a pleasure working with you. Next day I got called, you're not dropped. Yeah, it's okay, let's do another song. Then, at that point, I started realizing, I was like, okay, everything you're telling me is not all the truth, all right? I gotta figure it out myself. I had one writing session which started the mold of me. I started figuring out who I was, not only as an artist, but as a person. I don't know if you know a writer called Linda Perry. She's this huge writer. She's written for Pink, Christina Aguilera. This is my idol. And I begged my label to set up a writing session for me. They finally did. And so I'm shaking. I'm meeting the woman. Oh my God, I can't believe this. She walks in. She says, all right, play your music for me. So I played her 4 of my songs. She stopped halfway through the last song. She goes, excuse my profanity, but this is the only way I can bring it across. She says, this is shit. You're nothing. I've seen so many girls like you. Look at what you're wearing. I can list 1,000 minimum of how many girls I've seen like you. There's nothing to your lyrics. There's nothing to you. You have no personality. You are literally a carbon copy of a format at a label. That's what you are. And I will never work with you. People either leave my studio with a hit song or in tears. And I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I walked out of there. And after she said that, she turned the chair around and expected me to leave. So I got up, I got in the car, I had another writing session after that. So I'm like, oh, I didn't speak for 3 days. I was a mess. And I sat there and I just processed the whole conversation in my mind over and over and over again. And I was like, you know what? She's right. She asked me one question. She said, play me your favorite song of yours. I couldn't even lie. It was like lying to God. I couldn't do it. And there were none of my songs that I loved so much that you say I don't like it, fine. But you know what? That song's mine. That's me. There were none of my songs that I could do that. So I went back to New York. I emptied out my closet. When I say the label did everything, they bought me a whole wardrobe. Like, that's how amazing it was in the beginning. I emptied out my closet. They literally told me what to sing, what to say, what I couldn't even interviews. I had interviews.
Media training.
This
is how you answer questions.
Say you don't
say
like
this. Yeah. Say that. If they ask you who your male crush is right now, only say these 3 names.
Yeah.
Crap like that.
It's ridiculous. You think of the most asinine thing, that's it. And so at that point, I started developing myself as a writer. And I was like, I'm going to write my own music because I couldn't find anyone who wrote music that I liked. And lots of the artists and lots of big writers, they said to me, I don't want to work with you until you're famous. And I'm like, well, how do you think I get famous? Like, I need your help. I worked with some of the biggest producers, so was Shontelle. And
my biggest success all came from nobodies.
Came from her. She created her success. And that's the thing you guys have to take from this.
Yeah, and I've worked with everybody, from Stargate to Rodney Jerkins to, I mean, call somebody. I've worked with them.
No one will do it for you.
And even when you work with some of those people, even when you get lucky enough, if you're not Beyonce, you're not going to get the Beyonce record.
Yeah,
you have to create that. You have to find your group of people that are determined to do that and do it together. That's what you have to do. You're not going to. If you are not the Four Seasons, you know for a fact there's not going to be no crumpets and tea in the lobby when you get up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're getting. You're going to get what they value you at. They are like, we are not supposed to invest in you. That's what your label did. That's what your production company did. They're paying us to give you music. And you need my name.
Oh, you're lucky.
You need my name. You are not shit if you do not have a song by me on your album. And I'm just like, so why is it that all my biggest singles were like by producers and writers that no one knew, and now they're big now?
Yeah, you have to find them.
You have to find the people who get you, want you to win, and
are as hungry as you are,
and aren't trying to change you. And they are as hungry to see you win as they're hungry. They have to want you to win more than they want to win.
I went to a writing session. I'm so glad you said change it. I went to a writing session. They played me a Britney Spears song, sing exactly like this. I don't sound anything like Britney Spears. Well, yeah, drag your voice like this, sing it at like 3 octaves higher. Yeah, honestly, that's what they do.
Don't actually sing, just whisper and be seductive on your song. You're gonna spell millions. We're gonna put you in this bikini thong thing. You're gonna shake your ass. You're gonna win a Grammy, baby. That's it. You know, really.
That's it.
And then I'm like, shout out to Adele, the number one selling artist in the world, and the number one just like chilling, refusing to tour because she's like, I'm having a baby. I'm not trying to do what y'all think I'm supposed to do because I'm an artist. I'm chilling. I'm getting my millions because I wrote all these songs. Thank you very much. You know, like.
And if you look at all the.
Look at Lord.
Oh,
yes. Lord. And her song itself makes the point, like, we ain't about that life. Y'all can have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you don't need that.
If you look at all the recent female artists who've succeeded in the last, I think, I don't know, 2 years, regardless of Lady Gaga and Rihanna, but they write their own music. They did it. Yep. They're the songs that
writes a lot of own stuff.
The songs that broke them, they wrote them. Yeah. And the thing you have to take from this is that no one's going to give you this amazing life, and no one's going to give you your success. You have to go out and not rely on anyone but yourself, and do it for yourself. Find people that want to work with you. Write and write and write. I spend 10 hours.
That's where you find yourself. That's how you.
I spend 10 hours in a studio, and that's a normal day, on writing and recording and making mistakes.
Yeah, you live there.
That is your second home. You don't see daylight for a week because you go in at nighttime and you come out at nighttime, right? Like that is how your life is. And with touring, when I first started touring, I was put in a van with 6 boys. Smelly boys, no one showered, there was food underneath, everyone forgot food underneath the benches, and we all slept in there like this. We had like 13-hour drives, like this, and you go to, you don't go to fancy hotels, you go to these, you ever seen the movie Vacancy? Where you think like someone's gonna come out of the shower curtain with a knife after you? Like, people left things in the room, like the bed wasn't made because somebody stayed in there like a week ago. That's where you're staying. But, you know what? You're going and you're performing and you are making your fans that night. And another thing, oh my God, there's so many things. When you go and perform, my voice trainer down here, Marissa Lindsay, I love her to pieces. She always told me, when you go and perform for yourself, because I have gone and I have had one person in the audience, and it's happened more than once, because you're an unknown artist, no one knows of you, there's no promotion for the show, whatever the reason, there's one person in the audience. But you know what? That one person has a voice. That one person has Facebook. That one person has Twitter. And if they see you and said, "Oh my God, everybody check this out. That was amazing. That performance was so good. She's such an amazing person and an artist." They're going to tell all their friends. I had a show, I had 20 people in the audience. And like my dancers were like, "Oh God, there's nobody here." And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to make those 20 people love me. I sold 20 t-shirts that night. I sold 20 CDs. And I gained over 200 followers from all of telling their friends about my performance. Like in one night. And you have to go up there and say, you know what, I love music, I love what I do. You have to have a passion for what you do, because if you don't believe you as an artist, as something that people want, people won't believe it. You have to commit to yourself, and you have to put yourself out there. You have to look at yourself as a product. You have to be the third person.
You're a brand.
You are a brand.
You're not me or I. You are Vita Chambers.
Yeah.
Shontelle. You're Shontelle. You're a brand Shontelle.
How can I improve my performance? You look at every show. What Ebony said when you record your performances. Watch them over and over and over again.
I think it's really interesting too that Vita said, about you show up to shows. My other manager, John, in the back could tell you, like, yeah, we've been through the same thing. You come up to a show, because you're not the biggest artist, or you maybe didn't even put a single up yet. So, like, no one knows who you are. And there's no promo for you, because no one is going to spend money doing that. they'll be like, sure, you can have the venue, but there's not going to be no promo or anything like that. So, you know, I definitely know what that feels like too, going to a show, you're like, wow, it's like 5 people over, this isn't really working, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I could take it even a step further as far as like,